Hey everybody, welcome to Chatterbox. This is Dwayne Xavier, and I just wanted to show you that tonight we're going to be talking about, is being a homosexual a gene or is it a choice? And I wanted to basically go over a few things. On this week's podcast, we'll break it down with compassion and straight up facts. This isn't about us judging anyone, it's about understanding how complex human identity truly is. So, here we want to, as always, say that we have differences in opinions, and our opinions and beliefs are based on what we believe. So take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't behind you. We are not here to judge, but we're here to get educated on the situation itself. Okay. Um, Give me just a moment because I'm trying to process everything, because this subject right here, I want to be careful on some of the things that I say, because again, it is a touchy subject, and a lot of people are passionate about this. They have kids and everything that they are dealing with certain search of circumstances and situations. But I feel like it is a subject that really needs to be talked about, because a lot of times we don't talk about. So, let's not judge anybody in this particular situation. Let's just come and with open hearts and open minds to be able to receive and process it the way that's necessary. Let's see. So, first, I just want to say good evening. Good evening. I want to give a shout out to the people that I have actually researched and gathered a lot of information from. One of them is from Diversity Resources. They wrote about genetics and sexual orientation. And then we had the National Library of Medicine, which we researched. They did their biological basis of human sexual orientation is their role, or in the energetics. And then also the Board of Institute perspectives on complex genetics of same-sex sexual behavior. So as you see, the research was actually done. Okay, so I'm not just saying something just to be saying it. What research actually shows is that genetics play a role, but not with the whole story. Modern studies, including one with over 470,000 people, right, show, okay, that let me see. I got a slide that I want to bring up here just so you can kind of understand where I'm going from. But yeah, there is a no single gay gene. There are like many different genes. Instead, there are hundreds of genes, each play a tiny part. Genetics explains some variations, but think of it like height or personality influence the many factors that switch from one to the other. But biologically, beyond DNA, scientists have also looked at prenatal hormones, brain development, and twin studies. Findings show that identical twins are likely to share the same orientation, and then fraternal twins would share. So, but they are not always the same, which means that genetics matter, but they don't determine everything. Prenatal development, especially exposure, also seems to shape early patterns of attraction. Let's see. So here we're looking at, so is it a choice? People like to say it's a choice, but science says no. No, it's not a choice. You see that a lot of the sexual orientation develops from a mix of genetics, hormones, and early biological factors. None of the credible research supports the idea that people learn to be gay or are recruited into it. People can choose behavior and labels, in their underlying attraction, but their reality is it's kind of not a choice. Um, when you have a child who basically tells you that they are gay, because this is where it kind of touched me, because a lot of parents, they have kids that are gay, and then they have this like real strong hate, or feel like their child is going to hell, or they have all kinds of different feelings about their kids. You know what I mean? And some of them have abandoned a lot of. It's a lot of mental cases out there. I mean, next week we're going to be doing a show on mental health, which is, it's really a big issue, because a lot of the kids and stuff, they even leave their homes because they said parents don't accept them, and then when they get out there in the world, they're like left on the streets and they get into drugs, and that's when choices are made, because they start to get with the wrong types of people and everything, and these people influence them, and a lot of times they end up with mental health, and some of them can lead to death, suicide, and a lot of other things. So, I want us just to be careful of how we're judging a lot of the different people. But, the great thing is, why visibility matters, because representation has helped millions feel seen, and public figures living only have made conversations like this possible. And here, are a few known LGBTQ individual whose visibility has made a difference in the fact that they were gay. Um, let's see. Let's see, we're just going to go here to like slide 10 and stuff. Um, their lives remind us that sexual orientation is simply one part of who a person is, and not defeat, not a deficit, I'm sorry, and not a phrase, and it is not a choice. So the bottom line is that, one, sexual orientation is complex, not caused by one thing. Two, it forms early. Three, it stays stable over most of people's lives. So four, it's natural. Okay, it's natural, and it's found in every culture, even hundreds of animal species. Science and compassion with both point towards the same truth. Sexual orientation is natural expression of human diversity. Um, so, as you see, this subject right here is really touchy, because scientifically they're saying it's not just one gene that makes a person gay. It's several different genes that a person might possibly have, or play a major point as to why they are like they are. So, you know, um, a lot of times we as people and everything, we prejudge people. We want them to be a certain way. We wish they could be a certain way. And when they're not a certain way, we come down on them. And, you know, I think that we need to try to just be a little more open minded. And if you don't know something, do your research. Don't abandon your kids. Don't abandon your kids and stuff. A lot of parents, they are abandoning their kids. A lot of fathers, they're beating up on their sons because their sons, play with dolls and stuff. It's not really a good. It's a mental health situation, and a lot of times those type of things become generational curses that are carried on to their kids and stuff. So, I just want us to be well aware of some of the actions that could possibly happen. Let's see. So sexual orientation, orientation complex, mix of biology and environment. And, let's see, the final thought is that understanding the science doesn't take away from anyone's humanity. It deepens our ability to respect each other. Behind every study is a real person with a real story. So that is something that's really, really something that we should think about. I mean, I'm just lost for words right now. I'm kind of nervous even talking about this subject because, growing up and being sexually molested, and I think it was because maybe I possessed one of the genes and that the offender saw that sensuality in me or something and attacked me, violated me. And for many years, I remember feeling as if, somebody could actually see that that happened to me. And just by looking at me. And can you imagine being a child and being violated like that and you walking around and you become an introvert because you just think that someone sees what happened to you because you don't know that a person can't imagine what they don't see. Well, they can, but still, they really don't. You have to see things for to have factual facts about it. But the fact that a child is holding all of that inside and stuff, that takes a whole lot on a person's development, mentally. And the reason I wanted to become a public speaker was because I think that, there are a lot of people who have had similar situations or they suffering with some other type of thing. You know what I mean? Like dating abusive men and all kinds of different things. Or, hanging with the wrong crowd or had participated in so many different things that are not like really making them feel good as a person because it really doesn't matter who you are or what you do in life. What really matters is basically how you feel about yourself. And so if we go around judging people, we leave a cause and effect on that person. We don't know how what that person have gone through first off, or how we're making them feel, or or at what level are we adding to the actual trauma that a person has already suffered. A lot of times people are going around and they are, you know, just bad mouthing, bullying kids in schools. It's like all types of different things that a child go through. And trust me, if you don't know what your child is going through, try being your child's friend. You know what I mean? Talking to them. Because the one thing that you always want to do is try to have your child to be comfortable enough with you to be able to talk to you about different things. Um, this is really a serious subject because we have so many kids that are out there that are in the world that are suffering today, and they've grown up and they've taken those traumas into their adulthood. And in their adulthood, they still aren't right. You know, they've been out, they got involved in prostitution, and, child trafficking. There's all types of situations that happen with people who have been violated or people who are looked at in a different kind of way because of the gene that they possess. So, I commission you to go a little deeper in your research before you start saying that gay is a choice and you trying to beat it out of a child or send them to some boot camp to correct themselves, because that's not something that's right. It's not something that's right. We need to rally together. You see what I'm saying? And be a support system for people who are dealing with sexual identity issues. We don't need to try to isolate them and put them on an island like they are nothing or they're not or they're misfits. You see? Because I just want to just say that this world has gotten so bad. on the outside. And so inside your home is where a child is supposed to find comfort and peace. And if your child is not finding comfort and peace at home, trust me, he will find it or she will find it outside the house. And that's the wrong place for a person to find comfort in life. Um, you know, I just want to say that I am so happy that you all came in and visit me today and, kind of sit through this situation. It's not really long because I always only have, 30 minutes to really go through the information that I have to support you guys. And, you know, Chatterbox is a place where we're going to always keep it real. We're going to talk about subjects that people just don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? They push them under the rug. And probably out of 90% of the people who looked at this particular podcast on this particular edition or this particular episode can say to themselves that they have someone in their family or someone that's close to them that is gay. So because of that, I'm here to tell you, embrace that person, love on that person, because that person is not because that person needs to be loved from people. Like, they don't need anything. What they just need is a support system that's around them, that's telling them that they are important, they matter. Because a lot of them, they don't feel like they matter. And I think you go through life trying to prove yourself. Gay people are so artistic in so many different ways. They have so many different values, gifts that God has given them. God has blessed a lot of gay people because if you statistically look at it, and I'm not just saying this is true, anywhere the gays are, their environment is always put together. They have class. Their organizational skills are immaculate. Their association skills can be immaculate when they're right mentally. There's so many different qualities that they have when they have these genes. But having these genes, they're not looked upon as a great quality to have. And if someone tells you that you're not worthy of being loved because of your sexual orientation or your desires that you have no control over, then you start to think something is wrong with you. And the reality is nothing wrong with the person. It's something wrong with the person that's issuing out the decision or the assumption about something that they don't know. Because if you're not gay, you cannot speak on how a person is mentally wired. So many of us, this biblical and these preachers and all this kind of stuff, you will listen to them, but you won't even take the time to listen to your child or your relative. That's just my opinion about it. You know what I mean? You take what you can from it, and and what you can't take, you leave it. But I just thought that this is a subject that we really should discuss, because it's real. It's real. It's real. Um, I grew up always trying to prove myself because of who I was as a person. I mean, striving. But the reality was I always achieved. I always accomplished things that most people have never done or imagined doing. And my organizational skills are immaculate. So I have embraced who I am. And I've realized that I have a gift, a message to spread to the underprivileged, to supporting people who are feel loathed. I always tell people all the time, it's a wonderful feeling that you get when you get things off your chest. Now, let's be honest. When you dealing with stuff in life, I mean, we all got stuff that we deal with. But when you're dealing with things in life, don't you feel good when you talk about it? It's almost like a weight comes off of you physically, you see, or your mind become a lot more relaxed because when you have things that's bottled up inside you, feelings and stuff, it's hard for you to be organized, to think properly, to excel. But when you talk about different things and you get it off your chest, or if you start to value yourself, because it's all about valuing who you are, believing who you are, saying affirmations to yourself, loving who you are, because you don't realize that this is for everybody. You are important and you are special and you have a skill, a gift that's inside you that God gave to each and every one of us. And the thing is, the most important thing or the joyous thing to receive from that is that that's something nobody can't take it away from you. And then not only can nobody take it away, nobody can judge your path because you on it by yourself. And your destiny and the path that God gave you is so different from anybody else's. That's what makes you unique in who you are. Life is short. We lose people every day. I just lost an uncle last week. And, his funeral was absolutely wonderful. But my point is that, he was a distant from the family, and I didn't get an opportunity to really talk to him as much or tell him how much I loved him. And before I know it, he was gone. So, if there's somebody that you need to embrace or hug today, go on and hug them. Hug your child today. Tell your child it's okay to be you. Come and talk to me because if anything, you're going to save your child by the choices they make. You can't save them for being gay, but you can save them by the choices that they make, making sure that they don't get hooked up with the wrong people, the wrong crowd, if they don't become HIV positive. You don't know what challenges a child can go through because of the fact that a parent does not love and accept their child for who they are and they made them. Let that resonate with you. Let it resonate because if you are one of those people who don't hear anything that I'm saying, I'm praying for you. I am. I'm praying for you that God softens your heart to a certain degree of understanding. This is the holiday season, everybody, and we are going to be celebrating mental illness next week. Oh man, mental illness. It's a major thing that's going on right now in society in the world. A lot of people are suffering with mental illness, and it's because of a lot of the things, the generational curses. One, it's because of the lives that they live. Two, it's because of homelessness and being shut out. There are a lot of people that are out there that are on the streets, and we just walk past them. But we need to do something as a nation. And this is a shout out. They closed down a lot of the mental institutions because of budget cuts. And so we got a lot of people that's out there on the street, you know. And yeah, they medicated. It's a lot of them, they medicated, they need to be medicated. But we need to do a lot more in this country as far as investing more into the reproduction of these people, getting these people together, because there is a place for them in this world and stuff. And we are not the judge to be able to isolate these people and put these people out. We got to start as Americans, as people of God, start loving people and embracing people as they are. Open the church doors up instead of having that Pacific seat that you have in the front. And then every time somebody new come in, they don't have the clothes that you feel like they should have on, you judging and you looking at them. We need to stop that. Yeah, we need to really stop that. As I always say, wait a minute, I gotta get a sip of my sweet tea. As I always say, when you got one hand pointing at you, there's three pointing back at you. So, with that in mind, we want to always try to come across the people as having a heart of understanding. All this hostility, my way or no way, it doesn't work. And you the one that's going to be isolated eventually, because a lot of the people who are suppressed and people have their mouths on, God are blessing them. And then you wondering, why is it that they are successful or God is blessing them? Because God gave them favor, because they're able to use their negativity and have a voice to correct society. Hmm, something to think about, huh? At 6 p.m. on this particular podcast, we drive deeper into topics with honesty, okay? Um, Real and raw, unfiltered conversations. So let's continue to learn and respect each other for our differences, okay? That's like what's important. And then I want to say, my favorite thing is what's on your Thanksgiving plate. I want to say happy Thanksgiving. Nice happy Thanksgiving. Guys, I hope that you all get full and everything. But the people that are diabetic, I want you to watch those carbs. You know, it's okay on a holiday if you have a carb or two, but cut down on those carbs. You know what I'm saying? Just put a little bit on the plate. You don't have to go without none, because we gotta have a carb. Macaroni and cheese or mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing. Those are all carbs and stuff. Try to eat a lot of the vegetables and the meat, the protein, and just a little bit of the carbs. Because I don't know about you, but every Thanksgiving I have to go take a nap after I eat the food, and then I am stuffed for the day. So that's one of the things that I wanted to and then again, don't forget next week about mental illness and everything. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to enjoy this holiday season, because this holiday season, oh my God, you guys, I'm so ready. And how many people really want to hear my how many people really want to hear my what I'm going to have for Thanksgiving? You know. Um, let's see. We got some comments that's on here, so let's go over these really quick. Okay, first we got a comment that's from Marvin Reese. He said that it's not your fault that you were done that way. Don't put that on you. Trust me, I don't. I got a whole different mentality now. But thank you, because I love you, brother. And he had a whole lot to say, and then he said, remembering a fall came from heaven, the devil's plan to turn the natural into unnatural. That's something to think about. And let's see, what is it? Another one. He said, love is commanding from heart to heart. And I love my nephews. Oh, love you too, cuz. Love you too, cuz. Um, you guys, uh, wow, you know. Um, yeah. So there are a lot of good people that's out there. You know what I mean? I got a lot of family members that love me and support me 100%. Listen, I just want to tell you guys real quick that if you love this, subscribe, review, tell a person. Follow me on social media. I got a lot of social media channels. On my Facebook page, I am starting to do a lot more on public speaking. And so you're going to start seeing a lot of my information roll out about public speaking and everything. I'm doing a lot of research and as far as getting that part of the business together and everything. So I'm starting to roll out, and I spent a lot of time on trying to put together the packages of so I can look professional to do everything right and everything. So it's just rolling out. I need you guys' support. I want you to link in and support me 100%. Guys, come on, guys. Support. You know, I know a lot of you guys, you're tuning in. I can't even see who's tuning in unless you comment or something. But if you're not commenting, support, subscribe, tell somebody, okay? Because the subject matter that I talk about, I only got 30 minutes. What's 30 minutes of your life just had somebody spill some gems, give you some gems, some things that you can take away. Okay. And again, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning into Chatterbox. Chatterbox, a conversation that is an adult conversation. We can sit here, we can rap, we can chat, we can do everything. And I just want to say again, thank you. I'm serious. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Look forward to seeing you next week again on our topic mental illness. And bye.